Hi Gemini, and welcome to your reading for April 2023. This is going to be for Gemini Sun, my fellow Gemini Moons, Gemini Rising, and you can have planets in the sign of Gemini. Whatever brought you, welcome. This is your second reading I'm doing. I just did your reading yesterday, and for some reason it won't upload. It goes up to like 49% and stops, and I've tried it over and over again. I'm going to save it. I don't know if it's just the weather. You know, I'm in the country and it's rainy here, so I don't know if it's just my internet. So I will save it, and if I can get it to upload, then you'll have a double reading. So anyways, what I'm going to use though is the same decks. I'm just looking to see if there's synchronicities between the two readings. It was a heavy reading, I'm not gonna lie. It was a pretty heavy reading. But let's see. You know, it doesn't mean it's going to be heavy today. You know, maybe that's why I didn't upload. I don't know. Anyways, let's get into the reading. So we're going to use three different decks. We're going to use Mother Mary Oracle for our words of wisdom. We're going to use, look at that, two cards don't want to come up, the Gilded Tarot. Well, hello, Four of Cups and Ten of Cups. It's like I'm sitting at home, but I'm not doing much. But anyways, we'll use them to clarify or to go a level deeper. And I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot with you. I like the Psychic Tarot for Gemini. So, let's go ahead and get right into it, okay? Let's give Mother Mary a couple shuffles. Let's go ahead and give them a cut. And many of you know everything's pre-shuffled, but I like to shuffle with you here also. Okay, let's begin. Gemini. You know, I'm saying April, but remember time is fluid. You know, you still have a reading over on my daughter's channel, Jenny Love Tarot, that I did for February. If you haven't checked that out, you might want to check that out, because again, I feel like time is fluid, and you know, we can mark, like we can say April, but I feel like it's when you're guided to it, when it finds you or you find it. So check it out if you want. Again, that's Jenny Love Tarot, and there's some other readings I did over there. All right, we have caring from Mother Mary. Heaven cares for me, and I keep my heart open to caring about myself, others, and the world. Heaven cares for me, and I keep my heart open to caring about myself, others, and the world. Okay. We'll read it from the book at the end of the reading. Let's go ahead and bring in the Psychic Tarot. Again, give it a couple shuffles. Let's give them a cut. And I'm going to shuffle for your cards, so let's go ahead and begin that. You know, this is the type of reading where you really want to trust your intuition. Try to let go of control of like exactly how something must show, because sometimes things show better than we even expect. Memories of love. Memories of love. You did have that in the last reading. This can certainly talk about someone that you used to know. Someone that would you know, bring a smile to your face if you're thinking about them. This can just be treasured memories of the past. We'll see. Did show up though before, so let's see. Memories of love. Whoa. Okay. We have patience and planning. We have Triumph. This is the Chariot, Major Arcana. Card of Cancer. The Chariot is the representation of the universal year 7, right here. Chariot means that things can truly be unlimited if we can find balance within ourselves, and also the understanding that it is our intentions that, I want to say somewhat predict our future. 2 sevens back to back. And then we have Truth. Truth. But let's get all the cards out and then we'll talk about them. We have financial and material changes. Mental conflict, you did have that. Positive movement forward. Positive movement forward. Coming under the Chariot. I like that. However, it is sitting next to the 2 of Swords. So I feel like, someone's questioning this. Someone's questioning a move, or questioning maybe even being with someone of their past. It's interesting though, because I feel like, why do I feel like there's a sacrifice? And I feel like part of that sacrifice may be in my finances. I don't know why. Maybe I'm in a relationship, or I'm living with someone, and for me to go back to whoever lives in that 6 of Cups, for me to go back to that, it does feel like potentially, there may be a sacrifice. But listen, sacrifices sometimes are worth it. Now, I have to leave that up to you, though. Your spiritual team is here, mirrored by memories of love. Let's keep going. Conflict and defeat. 5 of Swords. Mirroring, financial and material mirroring. Yeah, financial and material changes. And then, well, here's the change. So I definitely feel like someone is in their head about making a decision, about moving towards someone. Maybe even like moving back home. That type of energy. Moving in, the Chariot is moving in that direction. So it's like, I want to move towards this memories of love, or the 6 of Cups, whatever you want to say about it. Judgment is here, so I feel like, what's Judgment want? Judgment wants your attention. Judgment wants you to be in the present moment. Why? Well, because that's where your signs are at. Mental conflict. I'm unsure about this. I don't know what to do. I'm like tying myself up in knots. But yet at the same time, I feel like, what am I holding? At the same time, I feel like this is something within, like you feel within. These 2 5s. I hear music all of a sudden. That's weird. I hear like a choir. Okay, but now I don't. Now it's gone. Alright, anyways, so we have these 2 5s, right? These 2 5s are what's putting you in this mental conflict. The world is saying that the next chapter is ready to open. Do you want it? Do you want to be in this chapter? Or do you want to be where you're at? I feel like a majority... Now, I'm not even saying like I have to change my whole life. This could just be talking about love. But there are material changes. And it's interesting because with the 2 of Swords here, next to positive movement forward, it tells me that this worry that I have in the 2 of Swords, though understandable, I may have to let it go. Like, I have to figure this out. Because positive movement forward under the Chariot, listen, that feels very good. That feels like very good energy. But again, it does feel like there's a sacrifice to get to that. But here's the world. the next chapter. Well, let's go ahead and let's fill this whole block out. Let me bring the lid down. I'm sorry about that. Let's fill out the block. Some of you, this could certainly even talk about your work and making changes within that. You know what I mean? And it's almost like, you know, like I feel like I have to take a financial cut. However, I feel like the benefits outweigh that sacrifice. So maybe it's just a temporary type of energy. You know, there is something toxic around you, whether that be people, whether that be your own thought system. Something has become toxic. Your spiritual team is trying to point that out to you. They want you to see that. However, you know, conflict and defeat, that is a feeling, right? I feel defeated. But you shouldn't, you know. And again, I feel like that's temporary. Look at this. Obstacles and challenges. Holy crap. 5, 5, 5. 3 5s. So there's going to be some changes. Now, again, I feel like these changes can be very positive. But I got to get through that temporary energy. What do we have up here? Hello, love begins. How interesting. Following the world. So we know this is part of the next chapter. Listen, doesn't mean like, you know, maybe there is someone I already have like my heart set on, and maybe, you know, I feel like if I'm moving into that energy, then both people, you know, want to be in that. I feel like someone's going through something very difficult right now. I just feel that. You know, and it's funny because when I was trying to upload your last video, I was like torn on a title because this was all there, right? These conflicts, these 5s, conflict and defeat, obstacles and challenges. But listen, this isn't anything you can't get over. I feel like the main thing is this 2 of Swords. And for those who, maybe this is something I want to do, making a plan, right? Making a plan, not just going by the seat of my pants, making a plan. That may help me in some way. It may help to ground this energy because it feels a little ungrounded. Love begins. You know, that's funny because that's what you got in your last reading also. I remember that. It was your first card, I believe. And I think I even titled it that. Look at this, Gemini. Soulmates. 2 of Cups. Following the Ace of Cups. How interesting that, first of all, this 2 of Cups is mirroring the world. So there's a soulmate that, I don't want to say waits, because I don't feel like this is about waiting. I feel like this is more about like what's just naturally meant to be. I do feel like you have to get through some difficult times, but I feel like a lot of it is more like listen, like I know that there is potentially some type of sacrifice to move me into this energy, but I have to be willing, if I want to move into this energy, to make that sacrifice. And I feel like, and I'm saying sacrifice because I feel like these 5s want to go, right? 5s talk about change, right? Conflict and defeat. I'm done with that. I'm tired of that. Obstacles and challenges. I'm learning how to overcome these obstacles, how to walk through these challenges. Financial and material changes. Well, you know, that could be a negative thing, but I feel like, again, it's like a hit, but then I regain it. Look at this bottom line. The next chapter. So if I can jump on the chariot, right? If I can jump on that chariot and keep my intention forward thinking, then I'm ready to move into this next chapter. Now, I don't feel like moving into the next chapter, again, is like a piece of cake, because I do feel like there are certain things, again, but it's temporary, certain energies that you do have to get through. You know, let's say this is I'm in a current relationship, but my heart is somewhere else. Well, you know, so I got to get through that, you know. But when you do, the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups. Look at this, Temperance. I think I put this too far down. Temperance on the bottom of the deck. This is all about divine timing, my dear. It is, you know, well, it says it right here. It's a lesson in patience. So you have two cards to talk about patience, right? And maybe that patience is so that you can put a plan together, so that you can make real logical decisions and move accordingly. Patience, divine timing. You know, Temperance asks you to try to let go of control of the things you cannot control. Say I'm in a relationship here, but my heart is with someone else. And, you know it's going to make the current person angry. What do I do with that? Do I stay because I don't want to make them angry? Or do I go fulfill what's in my heart? You know, that's what you have to figure out. You know, that's called free will. And nobody can really control that. And Temperance says, don't even try to control someone else's free will, because you drive yourself crazy. You have 3 5s, so I feel like there are changes that are coming. And these changes, even though, you know, temporarily they may feel difficult, I'm telling you, I feel like then everything starts to smooth out. Then you start to feel like yourself again, and then love begins. Patience. Patience, my child. Also, card of Sagittarius. Don't know if I said that. Recognition and rewards. It's almost like I'm waiting for, like, where are my rewards at? Where's my recognition at? Temperance is saying, maybe it's not where you expect it to be. Maybe you haven't been to the place where you're going to receive these rewards or this recognition. Some of you, this is talking about a relationship. That could be what it means. Like, I feel like, I'm not even being recognized in this relationship. Okay. Alright, so we have one that came face up, and that is the Knight of Swords. Interesting, because you also had the Knight of Swords in your last reading, and it was very close to the Six of Cups. So I feel like this is communication. This could be communication from someone that you knew. And it's interesting because I feel like if that's the case, I feel like immediately it puts you into movement. Now, it doesn't have to mean like physically, like boom, we come together, but maybe it means I'm starting to plan, like, how do I get out of this situation to be into this, to be into what my heart's calling for. We have the 10 of Pentacles, coming over patience and planning. We have the 3 of Wands over the Chariot. Nice. I like that a lot. I don't like this. 8 of Swords, coming over truth. But you know what? Maybe this really is what needs to be looked at, because if this exists, I don't know how this exists. So this is a self-created prison, right? I created to try to protect myself, my energy, my heart, my mind. But if we think about how energy works, this would stifle. This would be like, this would say, let's say this is communication again from someone of the past, and everything feels like I want to go in that direction, but then the Eight of Swords is kind of like, I'm afraid. And I don't think it's that I'm afraid of potentially being with this person. It's just the changes that it would take. I know that energy. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, I know exactly what it means, because it's like before I moved here. It took me a year to like break down these walls. We have the Hangman. We have the Four of Cups. Interesting. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. Two fours side by side. Alright. I feel like I'm in someone's head. And I feel like what I'm thinking is, if, let's say, again, this is communication from someone, you know, it would have to be someone that I used to know, because there's memories there. You know, can certainly be past lives too, but there are memories there, right? And these memories feel good. It makes me feel good. But then the Hangman, right? A pause, like maybe I want to go towards it, but again, the Eight of Swords with the Hangman would make sense. Like, it's going to hold me back. Then you have the Four of Wands, which is the marriage card. I don't know, guys. I feel like for some of you, this could certainly talk about, and I feel like this would be a current, you know, it's the marriage card, but it can just be a partnership. Doesn't have to be marriage, but it is partnership. I feel like that's part of it, because I feel like interesting. Again, you know, I hate to use the word, well, again, sacrifice. Where am I sacrificing? Well, I feel like if this is talking about a current partnership, where maybe we live together and we share the finances, we share everything. This may be saying that, you know, you go from the Ten of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles. Now, we don't have the Five of Pentacles. I just have a feeling it's going to come out, but so that may be part of it, right? It's like, but in the same breath, I feel like, you know, it doesn't mean you can't rebuild the Ten Pentacles. It may just look different if it's with someone else. We have the Six of Wands. I'm happy to see that, because this is the energy of victory. Being victorious. Over what? Over these conflicts. Over feeling defeated. Over this Eight of Swords. In these walls of protection. It's like your spiritual team gets through to you. Awakens you. Maybe that Hangman turns around. We have the Death card. Of course, Scorpio. But this is endings. It is endings. But it is so a rebirth can take place. And that's exactly what the world also talks about. Right? One chapter ends, but the new chapter begins. And, you know, the chapter of the world to me is such a beautiful energy. I feel like when we start to enter in the chapter of the world, it's probably for the changes that are being made with these fives here. I feel like ultimately when I move into this next chapter, I feel like if, well, we have a soulmate here, right? Love begins with a soulmate. I do feel like it will be forever. Now, again, people of free will, but I feel like it has the potential of that, because Death card does talk about a rebirth, allowing a rebirth in your life. You know, if something's not working and you gave it all you had and it's still not working, you know, like, I don't want to talk you into anything, because I feel like you have to figure this out. You know, this 8 of Swords belongs to you. It's like your self-created prison. You're the one who has to bring those walls down. Close the door. And when you do, a new door opens. Well, hello, Ten of Cups. How interesting, because I feel like we have the Ten of Pentacles up here, right? And this talks about, you know, I feel like a home where the finances are important, and, you know, savings and what have you. And then I feel like, but then I take a little bit of a hit, because if I leave that, you know, I have a feeling I'm leaving half the Pentacles behind. But how interesting, because it's replaced with the Ten of Cups. So to me, it feels like a completely different type of love. If this is speaking of love, you know, it can speak of work too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, some of you can talk about working from home, but it's after the changes. And I feel like it's replacing the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups. That's a house filled with love. It's followed by the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups. So this is really a house that's filled with love and laughter and joy. Doesn't mean that they won't have obstacles. They will, but they'll probably work them out together. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Well, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And then look at this. And then Temperance. How interesting, the Temperance is on the bottom of your deck. Patience, my dear. Patience. You know, patience for what? Patience, you know, it's interesting, because I feel like, you know, I say this all the time, but I feel like, you know, we're waiting for the universe to, like, make our life better, and the universe is, like, waiting for us to take some type of inspired action. It's like, I can't do anything until, you know, you leave that self-created prison, till you break free. And when you break free, then I can do something. Then I can help you. You know, it makes complete sense to me, because we have so much. I mean, look at this. We have the world here, right? The next chapter, the next pinnacle. And then you have the Ten of Cups with the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups, and then Temperance. So I'm not saying this wasn't meant to be. If this is a current relationship that's like, feels like it's on its way out, I'm not saying it wasn't meant to be. There's probably a lot to learn from it, but this feels different. Again, I feel like I'm moving from the House of Pentacles to the House of Cups. Very interesting. Okay. I want to look at the Eight of Swords. We have the Nine of Wands. Okay. So I feel like this is saying, let's look at things differently, right? The Eight of Swords is like, I built this wall of protection. I put a blindfold on. I don't want to face the facts, you know. I don't want to face, like, you know, maybe I do want this energy over here. I want this, you know, this soulmate energy. But to get there seems so hard. It seems like there's so much, you know. But the Nine of Wands would say, look at it differently. You know, 9 is about reflection, right? But these reflections from a 9 are the final reflection, just reflecting back. 9 of Wands would say, just look at your own responsibility within it, because, you know, this can also speak of a time of heavy responsibilities. But The Nine of Wands, to me, really speaks to someone after a certain chapter who truly, probably because they've gotten through these fives, becomes, well, you already are, but you start to feel that spirit warrior inside of you. And I feel like that's all you need to do, is just feel it, know it. You know, if you remember, like, you know, you're a spirit having a human condition. Well, these fives and this 8 feels like, I feel like I'm just a human and I have no spiritual self. But you do. What am I holding up? Anyway, 9 of Wands. So, I feel like it's just a different way of looking at your experiences. You know, if you look at your experiences, don't call them mistakes. Just say, okay, it was an experience, I learned from it, or I didn't learn from it. Listen, you're not, you know, I don't think we're meant to reflect on every little piece of our life. Like, let's not overthink it either. Okay. Let's, hello, lovers. This is your card. It's funny, it's a head over heart decision. This did come in your last reading also. And I feel like, and it's funny because in the last reading, I think I said, I feel like this time it is about a head over heart decision. You know, I usually feel chemistry between two people. I'm not feeling it. And maybe I'm feeling an old relationship versus, you know, the potential of the new relationship. So I feel like I have to make a decision. Do I follow my head or do I follow my heart? I'm going to go right down the middle. Interesting, though, how when I just put that down, I realized the Lover's right under now this Knight of Swords. We have the Emperor, card of Aries, father figure. You know, normally the leader of the people. Could certainly, again, bring us back to, like, for, you know, for some of you, maybe it's not love, maybe it's a job. You know, maybe there's an old job that you loved. We have the Hermit. Look at this. We're getting all major arcanas. Card of Virgo. And then we have Justice. Card of Libra. Justice. Man. I do feel like there's a few of you who could certainly relate to a potential divorce. Now, just know that I'm not telling you anything. Like, this is, you would already be thinking this. I don't think it's happened, but I think you're thinking it. The Hermit is illuminating justice. You know, I kind of feel like, man, I've been living in the dark night of the soul, and I'm tired of it. Tired of it. I want a way out. And that's what the Hermit does. The Hermit, you know, is that beacon of light. Interesting that the Emperor comes before that. And the Emperor is connected to that Ten of Pentacles. I almost feel like this Emperor is like, I'm not giving up any of my pentacles. If this is talking about cutting your ties with someone. I want to look at this Emperor a little bit deeper. Actually, I just want to look at all 4 of these cards, all being major arcanas. Let's start with the Lovers. Temperance. And the Page of Cups. Interesting. Page of Cups could be someone from your younger years. Can be a water sign. Doesn't have to be. Often feel Page, if it's not younger energy, it's energy that we're feeling. Maybe it's not present yet, but I'm already starting to feel it. This is also the energy of learning to love yourself and learning to allow yourself to have experiences and not create these these self-created prisons if something doesn't go wrong. Instead, reflect upon it so that you can move through it. Temperance over the Lovers. All right, let's keep going. I'm looking at the Emperor now. I'm reading them all together, but we have the Hierophant, card of Taurus. The Hierophant is about your faith, your belief system. Some of you may be wrestling with that. Like you may be in a current marriage and you're wrestling with the fact that maybe, like I was raised Catholic and getting a divorce was very, very bad. Wow. It's like, how do you know that without knowing the circumstances? Anyway, I don't know. This kind of puts the Emperor in a good light. I'm not done with the Emperor yet. I'm going to know a little bit more. We have the Nine of Cups. Interesting, we have the Hierophant, Nine of Cups, and right here we have the Ten of Cups. So I feel like someone is like, it's almost like I'm saying to myself, don't I have a right to be happy? And the answer is yes. You do have that right. It's your life, right? It was given to you by God. And then I feel like you move right into that energy. To me, the Nine of Cups is a singular type energy. Interesting, we have 999. 555 changes. 999, reflection on the last pinnacles, just so I can close that door, so I can gain the knowledge, the wisdom, and leave the rest behind. Okay, let's look at the Hermit. We have the Three of Cups. Some type of celebration. It's like, I found the light. Queen of Swords. Probably you. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Even though, it's coming right under Justice. And then the Page of Wands. How interesting. Page of Wands is looking this way. The Page of Cups is looking this way. Okay. I don't want to overthink this. Because I don't feel like I have to. I just feel like, again, like there's obstacles that you got to deal with them. Don't create, like, don't put yourself in any type of prison, right? Don't put any blindfolds on. Truth, it's coming right over truth. Like, be honest with yourself, right? Be honest with yourself. Know your own responsibility within a situation, because there are always two sides. Nonetheless, I feel like this does feel like it's a cutting of ties with someone. But I do feel like potentially it's because maybe my heart is set on another. And I feel like, because this feels like communication, this feels like the movement into what will be. Again, this isn't magic. This isn't saying that, like, oh, I close that chapter and love just finds me. Well, love finds you, no doubt. But there are some obstacles to it. So it's just, that's why you don't want to have a blindfold on, right? Because then you don't want to mix this energy into this energy. This just feels pure. It just feels pure. So you have two knights looking right at each other. Not two knights, two pages. So I do feel like potentially this is, again, someone of my earlier years, or even an earlier life, because they are soul connected. You're soul connected. And love is right next to it. The Ace of Cups and the Ten of Cups. So I feel like I'm switching from the Ten of Pentacles to the Ten of Cups. Okay, I think I want to read from Mother Mary, because I do not want to overthink this. I feel like I'd rather have you fill in the blanks, and I'd love to hear your comments, because, you know, this is not an easy situation for sure. So your comments can certainly help another. Okay. Mother Mary sent you this card as a reminder that she cares deeply for you and your family. Although you may sometimes feel alone, you are definitely watched over and protected. When life is stressful, though, as it's been lately for you, you may not feel the Blessed Mother's loving presence. So carry this message with you to help you know that divine love is here for you. This card also asks you to keep your heart open and continue caring for others, even though you may feel unappreciated or used. Remember that your spiritual path is to be loving and helpful, not to change others. However, you don't need to, nor should you, stay in any abusive or toxic situation or relationships. You can care for someone from afar. Most important, care for yourself, dear one. Take time for you and attend to things that are important for your health, your happiness, and your well-being. This feels like a personal choice. You know what I mean? Like a free will choice. It is showing that there's soulmate energy that is part of the next chapter. But I feel like it all starts up here. This doesn't mean that someone has to like get a divorce or break off a partnership. Maybe, you know, maybe something can work out. Maybe we can work it out. But with the Eight of Swords, it's like I have to be as truthful with myself as possible. All right, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I pray that this reading uploads with no problem. And, boy, I can't wait to hear your comments. I think I'm going to do this one as a premiere also. I've been doing a lot of them as premiere, but, you know, when they really grab me and pull me in, I love doing premieres because I love hearing your comments as we're watching it together. So anyways, I thank you all for all the ways you support my channel, and supporting my daughter's channel, Jenny Love Tarot. She's having a difficult time. They raised her rent $400 in 1 month. You know, like, are you kidding me? So she hasn't called me in a while, so I always know when she doesn't call that. So anyways, you know, send her loving energy if you can, if you would, and we send it right back. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.